My son, have you been committing the sin of MUST-erbation? Well, if you have been, your psychological ED might be easier to resolve than you think. Hey guys, Brian Mahoney here from psychologicaled.com. In a lot of my videos and articles here, I talk about psychological ED as being driven by deeper issues and how it can be really good to work with a therapist. But it's not always that way. So today I'd like to talk about the one way I see guys do ED that can actually be pretty straightforward to solve. Today we're going to talk about MUST-erbation. Not masturbation, MUST-erbation. So what the hell is MUST-erbation? Quick bit of psychology history. Albert Ellis is the father of rational emotive behavior therapy. He practiced for decades in New York City, and he's the one who coined the term MUST-erbation. He noticed his anxiety clients had a pattern. They'd tell themselves that they must do X, or X must happen. And it could be about anything. I must not be seen as a fool. I must get a good grade in the test. I must be liked by everyone. I must not disappoint anyone. I must make X amount of money. And when people impose these rigid expectations on themselves that feel anxious, their bodies would tense up, that provoke a response in themselves that looked like fear, but it really wasn't fear. It was basically the body's reaction to the pressure of the rigid thinking that they were doing. Ellis coined the term MUST-erbation as a way to describe the process. Anytime someone's telling themselves, X must happen, X needs to happen, I couldn't stand it if X doesn't happen, Ellis would say they're MUST-erbating.
I want to make it clear that I am not a psychologist or doctor, and the information provided in this video is for general information purposes only.
So my question for you is, have you been MUST-erbating? Somewhere in the back of your mind, have you made a rule for yourself that says, I must get hard. I need to get hard. I couldn't stand it if I'm not hard. For some guys, that's the problem right there. They make this rigid rule for themselves. Then the downstream effect of having made the rule is some combination of anxiety, pressuring themselves to get hard, or desperately trying to figure out how to get hard. Bye-bye erection. I've seen this exact pattern with a lot of guys I've worked with. It can be driven by trauma or deeper psychological issues, but for a lot of guys it's not. It's just that at some point, innocently, guys don't do this because they're stupid. They made that rule for themselves. Maybe it was just ego, maybe it was cultural influence, maybe it was conscious, maybe it was totally unconscious. But pretty much any time someone makes a rule for themselves that says that X, something that's outside of the person's control, must be the way they want it, just watch the symptoms start. Okay, so let's say this is you. What do you do about it? The way I think about it, it's about relaxing that MUST-erbation grip just a little bit. Not totally letting go, not lying to yourself and telling yourself that you don't care about whether or not you're hard. As Ellis would say, it's about relaxing those demands enough so that they become preferences. So demands into preferences. So I must get hard becomes I'd prefer to get hard. I'd like to get hard. I'll be happier and have more fun if I get hard. So I'd really like to get hard. But since there's no law in the universe that says that I have to be, and since I can't control it, I'm willing to have the experience of not being hard if those are the cards my body deals me. I'm willing to have the experience of whatever happens when I get together with my partner. If you can make that little mental shift into preference and actually mean it, your body will probably respond really differently. You'll probably get a sense of having a bit more freedom, more space opening up, because at that body level, the pressure's off. And all that bandwidth you'd used for the MUST-erbation opens up for other things, like your partner. Again, it's not a magic bullet, and working at this level isn't the right thing for a lot of guys. But for some, making this simple mental shift and practicing with it can make a huge difference. So if this feels like it might be a fit for you, here's what you can do with it. First, write out your MUST-erbatory demands. Write out those demands. There might be just one. It might just be, I must get hard. But for a lot of guys, there can be other stuff too. I must please her. I must be the best lover she's ever had. He must not tell his friends I couldn't perform. Once you have them all written out, take one of your phrases and say it to yourself on the inside. I must get hard. Notice how it feels in your body. Rate the intensity of the feeling on a 1 to 10 scale. 10 being most intense, bad, 0 being relaxed, totally fine. After you've written it down, then try increasing the pressure. Tell yourself the same thing even more forcefully or with more words, just really kind of put the pressure on. When you do that, does the number go up? Write it down. After you've done that, take a breath or two, think about baseball, Star Trek, whatever. Okay. After you've taken a break, now let's convert the demand into a preference. Write out, I'd prefer to get hard, or I'd like to get hard. Notice how that feels in your body. Then rate that on that 1 to 10 scale. Hopefully the number will be a little bit lower. Either way, then riff on it a little bit, repeat it a bit, see if you can get used to it. I'd prefer to get hard. I'd like to get hard. I'll be happier and have more fun if I get hard. So I'd really like to get hard. But since there's no law in the universe that says that I have to be, and since I can't control it anyways, I'm willing to have the experience of not being hard if those are the cards my body deals me. I'm willing to have the experience of whatever happens when I get together with my partner. I'm willing to have the experience of whatever happens when I just do the best I can. Then notice how that feels in your body. Again, rate the feeling on that 1 to 10 scale. Ideally, it'll be a little lower. If you can get a little bit of movement in those numbers, this exercise might help you. You may find that if you repeat it for a few days, you get better at it. Your body can relax a little more. And the more your body realizes it's safe to relax, the easier it gets to relax that grip even a little bit more. And it can be a nice, easy way to kind of glide out of the problem. For some guys, it's nice to find that it's actually a lot less work not to have the problem anymore, just by finding that you can let that grip that you've been having relax a little bit into a preference, more of something you'd like. Okay, that's it for now, guys. If the exercise resonates, I hope you give it some good practice and it helps you a lot. If not, I hope you'll find a really good therapist to help you get things solved in a way that's going to work for you and your individual situation. And if you ever want to talk about it with me, again, I'm Brian Mahoney. I'm a hypnotherapist and coach from Boston, and all my information is available on psychologicaled.com. Good luck. Thanks, guys.